I Never Write About You by Jose Antonio Rodriguez. When I write about friends, I write about Luis from kindergarten, about how he grew up to be a gangbanger, how I think he dropped out of school, how I don't know because even though I befriended his brother in college, I never asked about him. Or I write about my friends from 6th grade because I still keep in touch because they live in Austin and drive nice cars, but still, keep it real. But I never read about Joe, my friend from 5th grade. I never read about how his mother fed me buttered toast because breakfast at home was sometimes not enough. How I never told my mother that I wasn't being a polite boy and refusing food. How we did all our homework together. How he lived 1 block down in a 2-room shack smaller even than my family's. How he was the first one to get my jokes. How he laughed, sometimes at nothing in particular. How one day, my sister and I were leaning on the fence in front of our house swatting away flies. How Joe walked by on the other side of the street. How his jeans were tight. How they were too short for him. How before I could wave hi to Joe, my sister called him a faggot because of the way he walked, hips swishing, head bobbing. How she didn't say hi to him, but whispered it to me. How at that moment, the late afternoon sky suddenly dimmed, just a little. How only I noticed. I never read about how I never spoke to him after that day, how I moved on to 6th grade in a gifted and talented program in a new school, while he moved on to 6th grade in a not gifted and talented program in the old school. How we couldn't be friends anymore, because we were now in different schools. How we lived down the block. Forget. I will never forget all those times that I let you down. And I always thought that it made you happy to see me frown. You know, I will always remember all those textbooks that I burned into my head because I always remember what you always told me. I always remember what you always said. And I know. Son, you gotta get that 4.0. I remember walking home from school one day with my report card in one hand and the jitters in the other. As I flashed into my room, I slipped under the covers, filled with apprehension, as I didn't want you to know that I was home. Because if you did, I would probably get disowned. And, I'm finally starting to understand. So maybe as comical as this sounds, as absurd as it may be, perhaps all the tension that is built, that is burned, were sediments of a rock that came from the magma that erupted from the volcano. Every time you spit fire, because every time you yelled, it was like your voice got higher and higher. But now it's probably too late to say, I'm sorry, to say thankful, because you're so great. Because those tumors have probably decided your fate. And I know I never write about you, I never talk about you, but I wrote this poem on the car ride to school. And that's why I'm up here running like a fool. But if there's one thing for you to know, right before you go, it's that I will never forget you.